Imagine a world where the only way to get around is by walking in the mud or riding a horse. Horses are loud, they are messy, and they get tired. If you wanted to travel to the next town, it took all day. Back then, cars were only for the richest people on earth. A car cost more than a house, and if it broke, you had to hire a scientist to fix it. But then, a man who grew up on a farm and hated cows decided he was going to change everything. Henry Ford had a dream that was so crazy, people thought he was losing his mind. Henry Ford wanted to build a car that was so cheap, even the man sweeping the floor of his factory could buy one. Henry Ford wanted to put the whole world on wheels and leave the horses behind forever. Henry Ford was not just a guy who liked engines, he was the man who invented the modern world. He found a way to make things faster, cheaper, and better than anyone in history. This is the story of how a stubborn farm boy built a billion-dollar empire by making one simple thing over and over again. He didn't just build a car, he built a system that changed how every single thing in your house is made today. Henry Ford was born on a farm in Michigan, but he hated farm work. He thought it was a waste of time to do things by hand. He was obsessed with watches and machines. When he was just a kid, he could take apart a watch and put it back together perfectly. His father wanted him to be a farmer, but Henry ran away to the big city of Detroit to work on engines. He spent his nights in a small shed behind his house, hitting metal with a hammer while his neighbors yelled at him to be quiet. He was building his first car, which he called a quadricycle. It looked like two bicycles stuck together with a tiny motor. One night, he finished it, but he realized the car was too big to fit through the door of the shed. He didn't wait until morning. He grabbed an axe and smashed his own wall down just to drive his invention into the street. And that was Henry Ford. Something was in his way. He smashed it. He didn't care about rules or walls. He only cared about the machine. But his first two car companies failed. He went broke. Most people would have quit and gone back to the farm, but Henry knew he had a secret. He knew that the secret to wealth wasn't making expensive cars for rich people. It was making millions of cars for regular people. After his first failures, Henry started the Ford Motor Company in 1903. At first, they built cars like everyone else. A group of men would stand around one car and spend days putting it together. It was slow and very expensive. Henry hated this. He watched how a clock was made, and he visited a place where they prepared meat. He saw that if the work stays still and the men move, it takes forever. But if the work moves and the men stay still, magic happens. This was the birth of the assembly line. Imagine a long track, like a giant belt, that moves through the factory. Each worker stands in one spot and does only one tiny job. One man puts on a bolt, the next man tightens it, the next man puts on a wheel. By the time the car reaches the end of the belt, it is finished. Before this, it took 12 hours to build one car. With Henry's moving line, it took only 90 minutes. This was the biggest wealth secret in the history of business. Because he could build cars so fast, he could sell them for very little money. This led to the famous Model T. It wasn't a pretty car. It didn't have fancy colors. In fact, Henry famously said, "You can have any color you want, as long as it is black." He chose black because black paint dried the fastest on the assembly line. He didn't care about fashion, he cared about speed. The Model T was tough, it was simple, and it could drive through mud where other cars got stuck. It was the people's car. When he started, a car cost thousands of dollars. Within a few years, Henry dropped the price of the Model T to just $360. Suddenly, farmers, teachers, and doctors could afford to stop riding horses. Henry was selling millions of cars. He was making so much money that he didn't know what to do with it. But there was a big problem. Work in the factory was so boring and so loud that his workers were quitting every single day. They hated standing in one spot doing the same thing for 10 hours. Henry realized that if his workers left, his assembly line would stop and his money would stop. He had to do something even crazier than the assembly line to save his empire. In 1914, the average factory worker made about $2 a day. It was barely enough to buy food. Henry Ford walked into his office and told his partners he was going to double the pay. He announced the $5 day. The whole world gasped. Other business owners called him a socialist and a crazy man. They said he would go broke in a month. But Henry was playing a much bigger game. By paying his workers $5 a day, two amazing things happened. First, every worker in America wanted to work for Ford. He had thousands of people lining up at his gates in the freezing snow just for a job. He could pick the best, smartest, and hardest workers. Second, and this is the real secret, He realized that if his workers had money, they could buy his cars. He was creating his own customers. He wasn't just a boss. He was building a whole new kind of society where the people who make the products are the same people who use them. This changed everything. It created what we now call the middle class. Before Henry Ford, you were either very rich or very poor. There was nothing in between. But now, a regular factory worker could have a house, a nice suit, and a Ford car in the driveway. Henry also gave them the weekend. Before him, people worked 6 or 7 days a week. Henry realized that if people don't have time off, they won't use their cars to go on trips. If they don't go on trips, they won't buy gas or tires. So, he gave them Saturday and Sunday off. He was literally designing the way we live our lives today. But Henry was also a very controlling man. He didn't just give you $5. He sent investigators to your house to make sure you were living a clean life. If they saw you drinking alcohol, or if your house was dirty, he would take your pay away. He wanted to own his workers' lives, not just their time. He was a king in his factory, and he expected everyone to follow his rules perfectly. As the Model T took over the world, Henry Ford decided he didn't want to buy parts from anyone else. He hated relying on other people. He wanted to own everything from the dirt in the ground to the car on the street. So, he built the largest factory the world had ever seen, the Rouge plant. It was so big, it had its own police force, its own fire station, and over 100 miles of railroad tracks inside. Ships would pull up to the factory with iron ore and sand. Within 28 hours, that iron and sand would come out the other side as a finished car. He bought forests in Brazil for rubber, mines in Minnesota for iron, and his own ships to carry it all. He was the first person to create a vertical monopoly. This meant he didn't have to pay anyone else a profit. Every penny stayed inside the Ford family. He was becoming one of the richest men to ever live, even richer than the kings of old Europe. But this power started to change him. Henry became very stubborn. He believed that because he was right about the Model T, he was right about everything. For 19 years, he refused to change the car. His son, Edsel Ford, begged him to make a new model with better brakes and colors. Other companies like General Motors were making cars that looked better and were more comfortable, but Henry was stuck in the past. He told his son that the Model T was perfect and would never need to be changed. He even smashed a new prototype car that his engineers built behind his back. He was so powerful that no one could tell him no. This stubbornness almost destroyed the company. Sales started to drop. People were tired of the Tin Lizzie, the nickname for the Model T. Eventually, the factory had to shut down for months just to figure out how to build a new car. Henry had won the battle of the machine, but he was losing the battle of the market. He realized too late that the world doesn't stay the same, even if you were the one who changed it. Henry Ford's story isn't all progress and money. As he got older, his ideas became very dark. He bought a newspaper called the Dearborn Independent and used it to spread very hateful messages about Jewish people. He blamed them for everything he didn't like in the world. He was so loud about his hate that a man in Germany named Adolf Hitler actually kept a photo of Henry Ford on his desk and called him an inspiration. This is a very sad and scary part of his life. The same man who gave us the weekend and the middle class was also spreading poison into the world. He also treated his own son Edsel very badly. He thought Edsel was too soft and too nice. He would humiliate him in front of other workers and destroy his ideas just to show him who was boss. When Edsel died young from a broken heart and stomach issues, many people blamed Henry for being so cruel. During World War II, Henry's company had to stop making cars and start making planes. He built a factory that was a mile long and produced one giant B-2 for bomber every single hour. It was a miracle of engineering, but Henry's mind was failing. He was getting old and having strokes. He didn't know where he was sometimes. His family had to fight to take the company away from him because he was making dangerous decisions. His grandson, Henry Ford II, eventually took over and saved the company from going under. Henry Ford spent his final days back on a farm, the very place he tried to escape his whole life. He died in 1947 during a great storm. The power went out in his house, and he died by the light of a simple candle, just like the world he was born into. The man who brought electricity and engines to everyone died in the dark and the quiet. When we look back at Henry Ford, we see a man who was a giant. He wasn't just a businessman, he was a force of nature. He taught us that if you can make one thing perfectly and sell it for a low price, you can change the entire world. Every time you eat a burger from a fast food place, or buy a laptop, or walk through a grocery store, you are seeing Henry Ford's ideas. Everything is an assembly line now. He made it so that we don't have to be rich to have nice things. He took the luxury out of life and made it standard. He gave us the freedom to travel, the freedom to live in the suburbs, and the money to enjoy our lives. But he also showed us that great power can make a person blind. He showed us that you have to keep listening to new ideas, or the world will pass you by. Henry Ford's wealth secret was simple: service before profit. He believed that if you help the most people possible, the money will follow you like a shadow. He didn't chase the dollar, he chased the efficiency. He turned the world into a giant machine that never stops moving. Today, the Ford Motor Company is still one of the biggest in the world, run by his great-grandchildren. His name is on millions of cars in every country on earth. He left the horses in the dust and gave us the keys to the horizon. He was a farm boy who dreamed of a watch and ended up building the clock that the whole world lives by. If you want to be successful, don't look for the most expensive thing you can sell. Look for the thing that everyone needs and find a way to give it to them for the lowest price. That is the Ford way. If you think it is amazing how a man built an empire out of black paint and iron, wait until you see how the next inventor used a simple ray of light to capture human history forever. Click the next video to see the secret of the man who invented the camera and changed how we see ourselves.